you are watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I am Elisa, here to do another reading, just kind of figuring out like which decks. I'm going to start with the Wisdom of the Oracle for this one. It does seem as if there have been, well, this whole year, when I did the reading for the year of 2023, it was called an Epic Reset. I'll link it up here. And it was all about this total restructuring of foundations that was going to go down for the year. And like so far, it's not disappointing. But it's like it's happening in slow motion. So it's weird because, you know, we had this whole message for the year, and it's a totally different perspective on the ground, you know. Okay, interesting. So we got Loyal Heart and we got Regeneration. So I mean, this really speaks to sort of like an after the storm, when things like, you know, the new leaves start emerging after there's just been this total, you know, like this, everything's been burned to the ground kind of thing. And this is the very beginning. And it's really interesting because the reading I did just right before this, and it was called Justice, Time for Justice for Fredo or something. And it was, this thing came up in that reading about the Godfather and how, you know, Fredo was the brother who betrayed Michael Corleone. I don't know why this came up in this reading, but and so it was kind of a breakdown of their relationship in the last reading. So it's interesting because now we have Loyal Heart and we have Regeneration. So it's almost like this person is rebuilding their life with the relationships that they can trust, you know, and that's going to be the foundation going forward. Like, no more are we going to tolerate these people who we can't trust, who betray us, who don't value us, who take us for granted, who try to steal from us, lie, like defame us. Like, I mean, nobody should really make room for somebody who's demonstrated that capacity in any, on any level. I mean, that's just not a foundation that you can build upon. So yeah, it's almost like this person's just like burned down the house and now they're starting over. And that's sort of like the number one criteria for their foundation moving forward. Like, nobody who can't be trusted is going to have a place in this new order. And that's just priority number one. Like, that's what's coming through. Okay, so I'm gonna shuffle this because I just pulled it out and I didn't shuffle it. I'm gonna go to the Rider-Waite Tarot and see what we get here. But I mean, this does look like an ominous new beginning. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna take, all right, so this is interesting because we had that, we had this new foundation that we're building, but then it's like there was this burning down the house thing that happened, and these cards kind of speak to that process still kind of ongoing. Like, both of these things are kind of happening at the same time is kind of what I'm getting. But we got this Ten of Swords, so there's this ending. We have the Nine of Wands. So this is a battle-weary, wounded soldier who's kind of just really been through everything, and you know, they're just drained and they're kind of ready to give up, but then, you know, they still have some fight left in them, and we have this Seven of Wands, so they're kind of standing their ground and defending themselves. So what I'm kind of getting is it's like this person has really been wrung through the ringer, like betrayed, you know, taken for granted, abused, and that era is coming to an end, you know. And even though all this horrible stuff has happened, like, this person's spirit is not broken. Like, they're tired and they're worn out, but their spirit is not broken. And so it's like, whoever did this to them, you know, they definitely caused a lot of inconvenience in their life, but they didn't break their spirit. So it's like they still have this pure heart to contribute to this connection. It's still in there. It might be like highly defended, but, you know, they haven't turned jaded, you know. And this person is like, it's like they're almost like defending the space for this new connection, this new hierarchy that's more just and that serves them, you know. And so it's almost like, so my friend just sent me this video, and it was all about, you know, like healing a generational curse. And it's just like, it's not for the weak at heart, because it's just like, whenever there's this sort of restructuring of family kind of ducking order, there's like a lot of drama that goes with that. So that's kind of what I'm getting. It's just like, there's just this massive shakedown drama happening, but that's kind of what's required for this person to get, you know, what they deserve, because it's almost like they're really overcoming the cycle of abuse, and it's like good for them, you know, because they've really had to stand their ground in some like crazy drama, like crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I just pulled out the Prism Oracle, and I got, these are both super dark, but we got confidence and we got fear. So this fear, it's like interesting, because this is like total darkness. It's totally black. And then we have confidence, which is just like a little bit lighter, but still pretty dark, you know? So it's just like, it's all, what I just got from that is like, it just takes like one step forward in a different direction. It's like, you don't have to have all your confidence like in the beginning. You just have to have the confidence to just take one step away from this, and things will grow out of that, you know. And that's kind of the message that I'm getting from these two together, because it's just like, obviously this person has really been through so much abuse, and they're kind of in this like shell-shocked, you know, like just self-protective mode. And so they can't fully see what this looks like, you know, but they're keeping the faith that this exists for them, you know, but they can't fully see it because it's just beyond their experience, and they just they don't even know what that looks like, you know. But it's like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to know everything, you know, from the outset. Like, you just have to take one step, and that step's going to lead to another step, and that step's going to lead to another step, because it's like a process of healing. This is like a healing process. Like, it doesn't all happen, you know. It's just like, we just have just the beginnings of these leaves, but it's just like a journey, you know, and all the most rewarding, profound journeys, you know, they all begin with a single step, you know. And so that's kind of what I'm getting here. Like, this is like the first step towards this new, this person is keeping the faith that they deserve a different experience than the one that they've had, and they're just taking like this baby step in faith. They're just stepping out in faith, and just like baby step, because like obviously It's like when you've gone through something like this kind of abuse, it's like it takes a lot, you know, to step out in faith. And but that's what's happening. So okay, so we're going to the Transient Light Tarot, and we'll pick something. Like sands of the hourglass. Yeah, because these are the days of our lives. This is like serious, like daytime drama that's coming out here. And like this is like really a massive climax of that drama that's coming out. So anyways, wow. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is really kind of repeating what I just said. Okay, so this was at the bottom of the deck when I pulled it out. It's the Crown of Wands, so this is the King of Wands. This is someone who's like large and in charge. This is a manifester. This is a businessman. This is someone who's really in command of their emotions, and they can channel that to make things happen in the world, you know. It's someone who's very powerful and successful. Well, that's at the bottom of the deck. And we have the Fool, we have the Eight of Swords, we have the Champion of Vessels, which is kind of like the Knight of Cups in the regular deck. So it's like this person is stepping out in faith, and you know, they're like really scared, you know, like this is like fear. So this fear card has come out twice. So somebody is really having to overcome that, to just sort of like expose their heart and, you know, like put their heart on their sleeve and just like put themselves out there. Like that's kind of what this is saying. But you know, this is leading to this energy. The underlying energy is that this is someone who's like large and in charge and just totally empowered, and like, you know, so it's like, it's almost like that person didn't necessarily start there, but you know, that's all part of the journey, you know. So really, really interesting. This person is like, they're following their destiny. It's interesting that like, it's like all of these swords point towards this. It's almost like this third eye gaze in the middle there, you know. And then we have this crow, which kind of represents the truth, you know. And it's just like this person is just like taking a leap of faith into the unknown. They're just stepping into their truth, and like, and they're just kind of like letting the pieces fall where they will, almost. I'm gonna go to the Intuitive Night Goddess. We'll get the shadow perspective. But yeah, this is wild. And the reading for the month of February was, you know, change your story, change your life. And so this is, it's really interesting that this is this is coming out, because it's just like almost like there was this complete burning down the house, destruction of the old story. This comes out right as I'm saying that. Revolution, the tower. The old story is dead, and so it's like we're kind of stepping out in faith into this new story. And like right now, in this moment of this reading, is kind of like the scary part, because it's just like everything is so unknown, you know, and it's really uncomfortable. But this person is being really strong and they, you know, they're having the confidence to take the step, and that's where it all starts. So, okay, so we have, oh my gosh. So we have potential, which this is the Fool card, and it fell out right under the other Fool card. So this is clearly a new beginning, the light and the shadow element, like both, you know? And it's just like total revolution, which this fell out under the Eight of Swords. So it's like, yeah, it's scary, you know? And it's just sort of like we're taking a leap of faith into the unknown. This is the Five of Cups, where it's just like there's been all this loss, you know, but yet this person isn't broken. They're focusing on the positive, and they're taking a step forward. They're putting down the burdens of the past, and they're just stepping out in faith into this totally vast unknown. There was a reading from a long time ago, and I think it was called like Into the Great Wide Open, and like that kind of reminds me of that. It's just sort of like they're just totally stepping out into the unknown, and they're just stepping out into their power. And but this is the scary part, you know? It starts with this step, and then it's all gonna build from there. But it's almost like this person kind of like, okay, these two cards fell out. They've figured out, like, almost like they're stable on their own. So it's just like from now on, they're not going to let anybody into their environment that doesn't like have good intentions. And, you know, that's priority number one. And they're just going to build from there, you know, starting with a clean, fresh slate. So we got a burst of magic. We got a tall tale. And then we got smoke and mirrors. So this is really interesting because this is speaking to like deception and like, you know, distortion and like not being in alignment with reality, which is kind of like this, you know, like this person is like, they don't want to build their life on a deck of cards anymore. Like they want to build a life on the truth, you know? And so they're just like cutting the cord on it and stepping out in faith, and doing that, they're going to get a burst of magic is going to come. Like they're going to be rewarded for passing this test and for taking this step. So as the world turns, like I think the next reading might be for March. So it's like, yeah, things are developing in real time, but so far it's not disappointing with the epic reset.